is going to be, the magic is the following. If you are a parent, then you must agree now. There are lots and lots of situations in which the child wants something that you do not want to give. Or not as much. Or not at the time when the child wants it. And to me, it's fantastic because as a parent you can always say no. Yes? That's what society tells us. I'm a parent, I can tell you no, no more today. But you can also say yes, correct? Because that's what society is. So let's play now a little superpower game, which is the following. The game is this. You tell your child, if you want something from me, which you think I may not want to give you, do it in English, and then I will. Okay? You have the need, you want it now. Okay? You think I may not be happy. So, if you want me to cooperate, bribe me with English, so to speak. Okay? Say it in English, and then I will cooperate. So, English in my home suddenly has become a super code. Like something that a superman would have. Okay? A super code to satisfy the immediate needs of a child, even though she or he could try in Spanish. But then, of course, if she asks in Spanish, the parent will say no. Okay? But if she or he tries in English, then the parent might say yes. Of course, the needs, as you see, it's very easy to translate them into English for me, because I'm a language teacher, correct? So, the things that I showed you in Spanish are now translated into English, but there is, of course, a little problem, which is that any intelligent child at this point will say, very well, but I don't know how. Correct? And I'm guessing even if the child knows how to do it, they will try to get it for free. In Spanish first. Okay? So that's where the system comes in. And then you say, well, I told you, English is the super code, so you need to try. If you do not know how, I'm going to show you how. And this is where the parent, for a moment, has a chance to actually show the child something new. Teach, if you like. Teach the child something. I'm giving you a little sample scenario, something that we tried when we started the whole piloting project for the demo method in Poland. This was the Polish-English version, and I've translated this into Spanish. I hope there aren't too many mistakes again. So, imagine, for instance, that the child approaches you and says, can I play on the computer? And, father in this case says, well, okay, how about asking for this in English? Okay? And the child, I assume that the child is not particularly cooperative, the child says, I don't know how. And now the parent just gives the particular phrase in English, right? Can I play on the computer? Can you repeat? The kid, of course, pretends they don't know, come on, just in case they can get away with it for free. No. So, can I play on the computer? Can you repeat? Yes? And they say, well, can I play yes, pretending they forgot? Fair enough, once again, can I play on the computer? And now, an interesting moment here. Again, I'm asking parents, real parents in the room. If you have a child about, 8, 9, 10, and they want to play another set of, another computer game, and the only thing they need to do is say, can I play on the computer? Will they say it or not? Yes. It's so cheap, isn't it? Yeah? The only thing you need to do is say, can I play on the computer? You will get a bit of extra computer time today. That's the only way. Otherwise, I'm going to say no. Would you do that? You probably would. Yeah, because it's relatively cheap. Okay? And then the parent says something very interesting. Yes, you can. You've got 30 minutes. That's very interesting, because even if you say it in English, I can guarantee that every child will understand. That's something that I've discovered over the years. When you agree, the child always understands. Yeah? So, show them a simple trick, a cheap way to get something done in English. Because English is the super code. So, remember, if you show them the system, they agree and they repeat at the very smallest, then you can also, because you have that superpower, remember, you can also communicate success in English. Yeah? And there are several ways of communicating success in English. Phrases like, sure, honey, yeah, or no problem, darling, or go ahead, sweetie, or simply, okay, dear. Any of these phrases which the parent finds suitable will, of course, be immediately understood by the child. Interestingly, there might be a situation where, it's 11 o'clock at night and you just can't give them any more computer time. Right? Happens. And what if they then come and say, can I play on the computer for 30 minutes? Yeah, what do you do? Well, the system that we've come up with is the following. If you can agree, you always agree in English. If you must say no, because you are a responsible parent and it's 11 o'clock, then you communicate this fact in Spanish. So you save Spanish for situations where you have to say no, and you help the child associate English, this foreign language, with success. Okay? When you succeed, you get the information about it in in English as well. So this was about motivation. How does it sound to you? Would you like to try it? Does it sound simple enough? At this point you might say, a parent would need also to have the right language. If you are not a teacher but a parent, you might say, but do I know English enough myself? But the answer is, that's where perhaps you might need a guide, a set of ready-made phrases. And this was the second main pillar of what we have done in this Domo project. We have come to put together the most valuable phrases and vocabulary which are useful for parents in the home. And I'll show you a few examples, but first a little joke. This will be a mother. Important now. Doesn't work for us yet, but I think she should. Yeah. Okay. Now, of course, this is a joke, but But notice there is something really interesting, which is that you start laughing in places where, of course, you remember your own mothers saying exactly the same thing, yeah? Because everybody does, yeah? And that's our third discovery, which is that this language of the home, okay, it's a very special kind of language. We use the same things all the time, because the needs are quite similar. And this is of course for teenagers, isn't it? Yeah, that's the kind of, so my wife and I, we know it, we are up to here using this language, because of course you do this with teenagers. With slightly younger kids, you use a slightly different subset, but the basic principle is the same, which is it's a kind of language around the clock, from the moment they wake up to the moment that you put them to sleep. Right? You just go through the same motions. The needs are very simple, very predictable, and they happen tediously every day, every week, every month, several years. And perhaps this is a little disappointing, particularly if you're not a parent yet, because parents have no choice. But it's also very interesting linguistically, you see, because if this language happens over and over and over again, then the conditions are perfect for the foreign language. Yes? If you play the game and you say all the needs, if you want them, English is the supercode. You have days and weeks and months and years maybe to practice. And it will cost you nothing. You do not have to pay a foreign teacher to do that work for you. The only thing you need is a list of the key phrases, maybe with a bit of pronunciation guide if you are a parent and not a teacher and you would like to know how you would pronounce it, but that's about it. The only thing else does itself, okay? Because the motivation doesn't come from you. You don't just tell the child it's useful, the child understands very well, because they have the needs and you want to satisfy the needs, provided they cooperate in English. And this is exactly what we have done in the demo part of the project. We have developed guides for parents which are organized around those needs. So if you are familiar with any kind of phrase book, like when you go on holiday, you buy a phrase book, and then you have shopping, or buying a ticket, yes, or I don't know, you've lost your passport and you have to ask. So we've done something similar, like a domestic phrase book, but it looks a bit different, because the first chapter is waking up, and then the next chapter is getting dressed, and the next chapter is organizing breakfast and taking kids to school, etc. Because it's domestic life shown linguistically day after day. Now I thought it would be useful for you if I gave you at least a few examples of this sort of super language. So if you think about this again, which language in English now is going to be really incredibly useful to a child, then we have one example which is absolutely key, the most important bit of English. Would you like to see? What is you can probably guess. Can you guess? What is the absolutely most useful bit of grammar in English? But you're using a vocabulary. Yes, of course. So the most important piece of survival English in the home is can I. Now I'll show you some proof of this, okay? So why is can I so incredibly useful? Because of course can I will drive a lot of those immediate needs, such as, for instance, can I play? Yeah? Can I play? Can I play where? Or with what? Well, that depends on the child. But again, I can guess, most likely at some point they will want to play on your mobile phone. Yeah? Or they will want to play on the computer. Okay? Play computer games. Watch. Can I watch? Can I watch what? Well, not very surprising, is it? Can I watch TV? Or can I watch a particular film like Star Wars on DVD, yeah? Or any other film that you put inside this place, okay? Absolutely vital, everyday, useful, very frequent. Another thing about can I will of course be eating and drinking. Yes? Can I have? Can I have what? Can I have some juice? I already showed you on the previous slide. Or can I have some chicken? Yeah? Or can I have some crisps? This is very interesting, this one. Crisps. Yes? What will you say to this? if they tell you, can I have some crisps? Well, you can either say, yes, honey, or you can say, no, in Spanish or Polish or Portuguese or whatever. And interestingly, of course, even if you say no, you're going to hear it again. Yeah, because they're children and they want something, particularly when they know it's forbidden or you don't approve, and they just want, the wretched crisps or Coke or something else that they know you don't approve of. Of course, also have a sausage, yes, a Mars bar, again, same problem. You could say no, niente, no more, not today. Yeah, you had to already, and it will come again, no matter what. Okay? Of course, it's not just can I, in case you're thinking, I'm going to teach my child nothing else. No, of course, there are other bits of very useful grammar which the child would need, but I have to say now, as a teacher, a bit of warning, which is, this is not a program for immediate application in school. Like, week 1, I do can. Week 2, I would like. Week 3, I'll do shall I. It's too fast. In order for this language to really become the child's own language, like Spanish, you need quite a bit of time and a lot of repetition. But the great thing about the home is nobody is in a hurry with this. Yeah? You do not have a school headmaster over your shoulder telling you, come on, do another one, yeah? Introduce more grammar. No, you are with your own child, so you can spend as much time as needed until a particularly interesting thing sinks in, and then you will show another one, and maybe next, another one, etc. A lot more time than school has got. And of course, you brought up the issue of vocabulary, and it's interesting because this language of the home is almost like an undescribed variety. Business English, English for tourism, English for nurses, but what about English for the home? Yeah, it has specialized vocabulary. For instance, not every teacher even knows what this one is called. Well, good teachers do. But what I'm telling you is that it's not the kind of item which we normally teach, at school. And if you ask adults, who use English professionally, for instance, businessmen, I can bet money most of them will not know the equivalent of this word in English, unless for some reason they have, an English spouse and they raise their kids bilingually, Or this one, you know what this one's called? Yeah, tricycle, but in the home you normally wouldn't call it a tricycle, you would call it a trike, wouldn't you? Trike, because then it becomes a soft, pleasant word. And this one? And again, notice it's like a bit of professional vocabulary for the home. Yeah, there's not that much, but certain words obviously only function in the home. And it becomes really interesting when you start thinking about, if you like, normal vocabulary, not the one for potty, and not the one for poop, not the one for milk and everything, those